Hello and good evening, everyone. It's Folktown time. Welcome to the show. My name is Tobias Panwitz, and I am, as always, very happy and honored to host this lovely event we call Folktown. Tonight we're celebrating the golden sound of California in the 60s and 70s, sort of embodied by everyone who lived in and around Laurel Canyon, Topanga Canyon, and all these beautiful places. So much great music that came out of that time and place. And we're here to celebrate it. Probably we're not gonna do everyone justice, but we have songs from, many of the main protagonists of that place and time. And welcome to our little celebration here. Hello, Karl-Heinz, schön, dass du da bist. Graham, good to see you as always. David, hello. Good to see you. John as well. Helen is here again in Arkansas. Martin is here, of course. He's going to sing for us, just like Graham. And yeah, David's in Manchester. Martin is in Dresden, of course. That's lovely. Ready with my glass of red wine. Not Californian, but Italian. Well, thinking of the environment, it's better for us Europeans to drink local, more or less. A meal is lovingly being prepared for me and should be on my plate any moment now. Well. Hope you're sitting in a restaurant, or who else would it be preparing your meal for you? Here, Martin. All right. Hello, Jill. Very nice to see you as well. Well, as usual, I would like to open this show with a song that I'm actually playing live, with most of the contributions, or basically all of the contributions that are not from me, coming from videos that the artists sent in after they donated their time and effort to learn songs and record them. So as usual, I would like to urge you to support the artists that are partaking in this program. You find them all in the video description and links where you can support them. So I'm gonna try this thing. I just sort of learned this half an hour before the show. So let's see how this goes. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, 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 there is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rent, a time to sue, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. Starting off the show with a bird song, I think if we sort of take the 60s and the 70s, then the early Laurel Canyon is definitely dominated by the birds. And there's a lot of things I would love to say about the birds and be a little bit of an encyclopedic host here tonight. But this is not really going to happen because it takes a lot of time to prepare the show. And I would have loved to deep dive into Laurel Canyon. And I did this a couple of years ago when I read this book. And I recommend to everyone who would love to know more about the stories and the artists and the songs to read Hotel California by Barney Hoskins. It's a really great read. And if we have the time, I'm going to read one or two parts of the book. Not too much because this is mainly about the music. And talking of that, we should not waste more time talking about books. Jill, that's nice. Cool. You've been harmonizing. All right. Mr. Jones is here. He's going to sing for us later. Bobby McLeod is here. He's a regular watcher. And David. Thank you. So, what's happening today? Laurel Canyon, this mythical, magical place in Los Angeles, started out like all the great hangouts for artists. A place that was cheap to live, very close to downtown Los Angeles, so it was a perfect place for the artists to hang out in a sort of nature, close to nature surrounding. It was very very peaceful, not as stressy as downtown Los Angeles, and still I think it's like a 20-minute drive or something to the center of the city, or to Sunset Boulevard or someplace. And it was cheap to live mainly, so lots of artists moved there. People like this band, the Byrds, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Neil Young, Buffalo Springfield, Joni Mitchell, The Doors, Frank Zappa, Mamas and the Papas, the Monkees, Jackson Browne, of course, the Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, Bonnie Raitt, just to name a few of the most well-known. Graham Parsons, of course, as well. Flying Burrito Brothers. So much great music came out of that place. And if I would have to, choose a different time and place to live, except, this one, which I didn't really choose, it would probably be like California in the 70s, 60s, early 70s, something like that, before the drugs kicked in. Before the heavy drugs kicked in, because that's where it all ended, sort of. But let's not talk about the end already. I think it's time to play some music. Being a little bit of a DJ here today. And we're starting off the show tonight with a song that is quintessential for Laurel Canyon, for California, in that golden age of music. Talking about the Mamas and the Papas, and their most famous song is brought to us today by Joe Armstrong and his friends, a band called the Jolie Blondes, and check this song out. It's the perfect beginning.
Hi everyone, we're the Jolly Blondes and we're here in our own little Laurel Canyon here, and we've got a song from the kings and queens of the Laurel Canyon scene, the Mamas and the Papas. They basically started the whole thing off there, them and the Birds together, and this is kind of the most iconic sort of anthem from the mid-60s in that time, and it's called California Dreamin'. It goes like this. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I'm being purple on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. California dreaming on such a winter's day. Stopped at the church, I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. Thinking like suppose he knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day. And the sky is gray. I'm being purple on a winter's day. If I could tell her I believe today. California dreaming on such a winter's day. On such a winter's day. On such a winter's day.
Oh man, on such a winter's day. Thank God, winter is over. Um, but wow, that was awesome. You know, that last harmony, such a winter's day. I always listen to the upper part, and Joe had that lower part. The first time I actually paid attention to that, how that, you know, that harmony, the vocal harmony actually goes. Great guitar playing there as well. Wonderful harmonies. The Jolie Blondes. Do check them out. As usual, in the video description, you find all the artists and the links to their works and music. Jolie Blondes not standing in the top as the first band, but you know, it's alphabetical, so I'm not giving away the running order before you guys witness it yourself. That was beautiful, and I had to think about, you know, this song is so iconic, and you know, I was born, let's just say, after this song was released, and still, when I picked up the guitar and started to, you know, to teach myself playing songs from these songbooks, you know, that had all these classic songs in them, like Imagine and Morning Has Broken and California Dreaming. Those songs we all start out with. It's, you know, it's funny. The songs from that era, they just don't die. They won't ever die. They will always capture people's imagination and just fascinate, no matter what generation. It's kind of magical. It's kind of a corny thing to say, but it sort of is, that music. So, Laurel Canyon in the 60s, mid-60s, was dominated by, you know, electric guitar bands like the Byrds, the Buffalo Springfield, and Jimi Hendrix as well. So our next performer comes from Holland, playing us a Jimi Hendrix song. It's really cool that we have one of those. Please welcome back to the show, Rick van den Bosch.
Hello, Folktown, and welcome to the theme of Laurel Canyon. What an awesome theme. And over a span of 10 years with hundreds of bands, a wide variety of a song choice, that did not make it easier for me, but when I saw that Jimi Hendrix was part of that movement, I thought, okay, let's try a song of his. One of my favorite songs is called Little Wing. Enjoy. Well, she's walking through the clouds with a circus mind that's running wild. Butterflies and zebras and moonbeams and a fairy tale, that's all she ever thinks about. Riding with the wind, when I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles. She gives to me free. It's alright, she says it's alright. Take anything you want from me. Anything, anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Always good to see and hear you. And what a choice of guitar for that song, Jimi Hendrix on the concert guitar. You don't hear that every day. You hear that here on Folktown, everyone. So, what a great choice, man. Guys, it's good to see you guys again. This is, by the way, the last show, the last before the last. Is that the way to say it? So next month will be the final show of this season. And of course, at the end of the show, as usual, I'm gonna announce who the next artist will be. But now, let me just read a little bit. So, you know, Jimi Hendrix and all these guitar bands were around. And gonna read a little bit from the Book of Laurel Canyon here. Yeah. So bear with me. I thought this was a nice passage to give a little bit of the atmosphere, the canyon, and the times that we're talking about here. So, because I'm reading this because the next band We're gonna hear a song from Miss Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And this refers to Crosby, Stills and Nash, which is of course not the same, but it's, you know, very close to CSNY. So, the release of Crosby, Stills and Nash in May 1969 marked the true dawn of post-hippie California. It announced that jangly bands with Rickenbacker guitars were over, offering in their place a loose triad of alpha males in denim jeans. So, Graham Nash says, "When we first came out, it was Marshall time," referring to the amps, of course. It was Jimmy, free, cream, loud rock and roll, whereas our music had this fresh, sunny vibe which cut right through. Hendrix himself took due note. "I've seen Crosby, Stills and Nash," he said. "They're groovy, western sky music, all delicate and ding ding ding." I think that's just such a great quote. Crosby, Stills and Nash acted as a kind of self at a point when the hippie revolution was in serious danger of overheating. There were too many people dying and breaking up. People were like, okay, we're gonna calm this thing down. They didn't really calm down. They were just doing, they were doing just as many drugs, but it became more sophisticated with Crosby, Stills and Nash. And the next artist we're hearing playing a song by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young is Mr. Jones with his friend Robert Hasleder, and they're playing this wonderful Neil Young song, first released by CSNY. Please do enjoy.
What a list of artists to pick from this time. Hello, Folktowners. I'm also back with my rendition of a Neil Young song, one I've played many times when I was younger and had heard it in this video, The Last Waltz of the band, where he played it, and it stuck in my mind since then. Always played it when I was younger, and didn't play it for quite a few years. And with this show coming up, I thought about what can I do, and after doing a Joni Mitchell song already for the Joni Mitchell show recently, I decided to do this song, and once again my good friend Robert jumped in, and this time he plays a frailing banjo, a clawhammer banjo, and so we have another taste of his musical abilities. Robert Hasleder, a great guy, great friend of mine, and yeah, now just lean back, enjoy this rendition of Neil Young's Helpless. Good to see you, good to see and hear all of you again, and see you next time around. Bye. There is a town in North Ontario with dreams, comfort, memory to spare. And in my mind, I still need a place to go. All my changes were there. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? Helpless, helpless, helpless. helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless.
Ah, that song is always such a pleasure to hear, and I was singing along. I guess you guys were as well. It's sort of an option and a song that leaves you no option but to sing along. It's the ultimate sing along. Yeah, Graham played this song on the Neil Young episode, and it's cool to hear, a new version, a different version of it. Always nice to hear Mr. Jones solo, all with Robert Hasleder. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, man, for joining us. Mr. Jones is in the chat today. And talking about the chat, so this streams both on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can, choose wherever the quality is better. People say that it's better on YouTube, that the video quality there is better. Graham told me that the video on YouTube lags behind like 10 seconds. Most people do chat on Facebook, so what you can do is watch this on YouTube and then, join the chat on Facebook, so everyone can see what you're writing, because most people are here on Facebook. All right. John is writing, "This show exemplifies the true spirit of American Canadian music. Makes me feel proud. So many great songs. I hope this goes viral." Yes, talking about this going viral. Thanks, John, first of all. We can all help making this go viral by sharing this video. On YouTube, it's not really as social, but if you're on Facebook, do share it on your own site. Invite your friends that would enjoy this kind of music too. We all have at least one friend, at least one, that enjoys folk music, and probably, everyone who enjoys folk music enjoys the songs from that era. I dare say. All right. Cool. So thanks everyone for joining and for sharing the video on your socials. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank a very special bunch of people, those who pre-financed this show. As you know, as of late, the show always has a fundraiser that runs before each episode, and if it reaches 250 euros, which I need to make the show happen, then the show will happen, if that fundraiser goal is reached. And it was reached. It even went over a little bit, thanks to the following persons: Marion, Gundi and Jürgen, Mark, Katharina, and I might just wait before I keep reading. Why not just do this? Boom! Ha! So, thank you to the Folktown supporters: Gundi and Jürgen, Mark, Katharina, Jeffrey, Axel, Gudi, Alan, Patrick, Jill, Ute and Jürgen, Peter, Karl-Heinz, Elizabeth, Dirk, Bernd, Maureen, Karin, Marion, Robbie und Frank. And if I did forget someone, then please forgive me. Some of your support and donations came not in through the fundraiser, but on different channels, just straight on PayPal, or it went to my bank account or something. So I want to thank everyone, but it could be that I forgot someone who donated and supported outside of the fundraiser. So if that is the case, please do forgive me. I still appreciate it as much. Thank you so much. There will be a new fundraiser, and I'm gonna announce that where exactly that is in a minute. By the way, if you want to join on YouTube, I'm just gonna put in the chat the address. So that's obviously youtube.com Trailhead Music. All right. If you head to that page, you can join the video on YouTube. All right. Okay, cool. Mette is here as well. Someone said hi to Mette. That's good to see. All right, so how do we go on? My plan, what does it say? All right, cool. Oh yeah, talking about Mette. The next song is sung by Mette Kierkegaard, and it's one of those songs that exemplifies that the early days of Laurel Canyon were one of community, or were days of community and many collaborations. People, came over to their friends' houses, played them a new song, asked them if they have an idea for a verse, maybe a word that is missing, or asked them to play, sing harmonies on the recording, or maybe a band that was not as well known at the moment. We're lucky to be friends with Linda Ronstadt, who was a big deal already in the earlier days. And she would sing the song, and then it would be a huge hit, and then the band would become famous as well, which was the case with this song, which is an absolute classic of the band I'm talking about later on. But in the beginning, no one really cared about the Eagles. They were just a backing band for Linda Ronstadt, and she sang this song. She sang several Eagles songs, but this song she made famous, and it became one of the greatest classics of the Eagles. And if you know Mette, then you might guess what instrument she's often playing and which song this might be, which Eagles song. All right, please welcome back to the show, Mette Kierkegaard.
Hello everyone, Tobias, audiences. Thank you for having me in the show tonight. The song I chose, I heard it with the Eagles and as well with Linda Ronstadt. Here comes the song I dedicated to my father. My father had a lot of albums from the Laurel Canyon time. And here comes Desperado. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. Oh, you're a hot one. I know that you got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you can hurt you somehow. Don't you draw the Queen of Diamonds, boy. She'll beat you if she's able. You know the Queen of Hearts is always your best bet. Now it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can get. Desperado, oh, you ain't getting no younger. Your pain and your hunger, they're driving you home. And freedom, oh freedom, well that's just some people talking. Your prison is walking through this world all alone. Don't your feet get cold in the winter time? The sky won't snow and the sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the nighttime from the day. And you're losing all your highs and lows. Ain't it funny how the feeling goes away? Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? Come down from your fences, open the gate. It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. better let somebody love you. You better let somebody love you. You better let somebody love you before it's too better let somebody love you.
Indeed. Thanks so much, Mette. I love that song. Haven't played it in a very long time. It's one of those songs that I also played when I started out, playing the piano. It's such a wonderful piece. And I remember seeing it when the Eagles reunited, when hell froze over in the 90s. And I was just in the height of my Eagles fan years. Beautiful. Thanks so much for that. And it's you played in such a different way than I played, or Glenn Frey plays it, and that's so great about this show, to hear these very unique and different approaches to songs. Thank you, Mette KIRKEGAARD. Beautiful, beautiful rendition of Desperado. All right, next up we have Bobby McLeod says, everyone sounds wonderful as I do some house cleaning. Well, it's great. It's great the show serves that purpose for you, Bobby, but that's cool. That's fine. I'm sure while you're cleaning the house, you have this huge flat screen TV on and you can see the show from every room. All right. Hallo Gabriele, schön dich zu sehen. Gabriele is tuning in. All right, cool. So next up we have a song by probably my favorite artist from the Laurel Canyon area, and he was also one of the youngest among all those classic songwriters. He wrote the song that we're gonna hear now when he was 16, and it's a very introspective song, and you would always wonder, how can someone at 16 write a song like that? And it's in good hands tonight. Bernd BÖCKMANN is playing it, and Bernd is not with us today because he's attending an actual live concert, which of course is a very good reason not to tune in. He's at a live concert with Matthew James White, who's always also been on the show a couple of times. So hope these two enjoy the evening. And here's Bernd BÖCKMANN with a song by Jackson Browne.
Hi Folktown family, my name is Bernd BÖCKMANN and I'm really happy that I can join again this show, and thank you Tobias for having me again. For today's show I choose a song by Jackson Browne I always wanted to play. One song he wrote when he was 16 at early age, and I love this very, very much, and it's the song These Days, and I hope you like my version. I'm having a little cold, and I was very astonished that my singing works really quite well, I think. So have a great time, and many greetings to all my friends here on Folktown. Cheers. Well, I've been out walking, and I don't do much talking these days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do. And all the times I had a chance to. And I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. Now if I seem to be afraid to live a life that I've made in song, well, it's just that I've been losing so long. Well, I'll keep on moving on. Things are bound to be improving these days. One of these days. These days I sit on cornerstones and count the time and quarter tones to 10. My friend, don't confront me with my failures. I had not forgotten them.
Oh, isn't that just the most amazing song? To write that at the age of 16, it's just surreal. And it's in such great hands with BERND. His performances are always a great pleasure to listen to. And I hope your voice is better, BERND. And like you said yourself, it didn't hurt your singing at all. It sounded really beautiful. Thanks so much. And thanks for joining us despite you not being really well. But I hope that's better now. All right. I had not forgotten them indeed. Yeah. Oh my. All right. So everyone, as I mentioned, just trying to pull myself out of the Jackson Browne mood. There's a couple more Jackson Browne songs coming up. All right. So, like I mentioned, there's a new fundraiser for the next show. The next show will happen on May 1st. Please put that in your calendars now. May 1st will be the final show of this season before the summer, and then no one wants to watch stuff on the internet anymore anyways. So 1st of May is a special day, and maybe that gives an indication to who the artist is that will celebrate. Anyways, the new fundraiser is up already, and I'm gonna put the link in the comments now. So here it is, new fundraiser for the 1st of May, and there's the usual PayPal link. Thank you so much in advance to everyone who contributes something and to helps to pre-finance the May 1st show. All right, and as usual, you know, even if the artist that we celebrate is someone that's not your favorite artist, which, you know, not everyone can be your favorite artist, but the great thing about this show, I think, is that the interpretations vary so much, and they're always folky, of course, because most of the interpretations are guitar or piano based. So the songs are in totally new. They're in a totally new vibe. I didn't find the right word right now, but you know, it's always enjoyable. So even if you are not sure if you're gonna like the artist for May, it doesn't really matter, because the performances are gonna be really good, and the songs are always great. So surprise, surprise, indeed, Karl-Heinz. Yes. Hello, Mette. Now I see you. All right. Hello, Laura. You love Folktown. Thank you, Bobby McLeod, for introducing me. Yes, welcome to our lovely little place here. All right. So the next artist is going to play a song by Neil Young. And this is a song Neil Young wrote also when he was quite young, at the age of 19. And the song is called Sugar Mountain. many of you will know it, of course. And I find it funny that Neil Young wrote this song when he was feeling melancholic because he had gotten too old to get to have access to his youth club in I forget which town in Canada. He was still in Canada then, because all his friends and the girls he liked, they were all hanging out at this youth club, and he wasn't allowed to go there anymore because he was too old. He was 19. So he wrote this song that is sort of looking back at a golden age when he was 19. That's really funny. And Joni Mitchell, who was a friend of Neil Young's already in Canada, and then they hooked up again in a friendly way in Laurel Canyon. She wrote, as an answer to this song later, she wrote The Circle Game, which is a nice story, I think. So anyways, we have our next artist playing Neil Young, and our next artist is Claude CAHN, and he's been with us on Folktown a couple of times, and today he's singing Neil Young. Please welcome Claude CAHN.
Evening, everybody. I'm going to do Neil Young's Sugar Mountain. It's not probably a Laurel Canyon song, actually. I looked it up. It was written in 1964 in Canada before he moved to California. But, it inspired directly Joni Mitchell's Circle Game, so I think it counts. Anyway, I was going to do it anyway, so just made up the justification after I decided which song I was going to play. I'm also here to promote the record Where Have You Been by the Vengeful Cousins. This is a record of ballads that we recorded with lots of other people on this channel, on the Folktown scene. Joe Armstrong is there, Tony Rose is there with Laura Camp, Mark Mulholland is there, lots of people are there, Tom Lee Hoo. So I hope you'll buy it. It's a great record. It's songs that tell a story, and if you like it, maybe you can tell Tobias that we want to do a ballad evening here on Folktown. Anyway, there's no way you scanned the QR code while I was holding it up, so hopefully we'll put it down at the bottom. Yeah. Anyway, Neil Young, Sugar Mountain. Hope I can pull it off. Good evening. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. Oh, leaving there too soon. It's so noisy at the fair, but all your friends are there. And some candy floss you had, and your mother and your dad. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon. There's a girl just down the aisle, ought to turn and see her smile. You can hear the words she wrote
as you read a hidden note. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon. Now you're underneath the stairs and you're giving back some glares to some people that you met, and it's your first cigarette. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too Now you say you're leaving home 'cause you want to be alone. Ain't it funny how you feel when you're finding out it's real? Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the barkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Oh, you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. 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 Thanks. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Claude. Sugar Mountain on the Irish bouzouki. Or the double mandolin. What else was it called? It was somewhere in the chat. If you want to find out what instrument Claude was playing, there's a huge discussion going on in the chat. All right, cool. So Claude suggested a folk town of ballads. And man, I'm always up for ballads. There's hardly anything else that I'm playing. So yeah, folk town with ballads. Maybe we should circle in, maybe we should call it murder ballads. So you guys can play some songs from the album. Do check out Claude's album of ballads. And yeah. And he put the link in the chat, so you find it there. That's cool. All right, so up next we have a song. We have actually, I think we have two songs coming up by the Monkees, and the Monkees were also in the thick of the Laurel Canyon life, and I'm gonna read you a little bit from the book of Laurel Canyon, which is called Hotel California. If you've just tuned in, this is a book I highly recommend to everyone who wants to read a little more about the whole Laurel Canyon time and scene. It's by Barney Hoskins. I'm not getting paid for this. So, the Monkees. With money from the success of the Monkees, former child actor Mickey Dolenz bought a house in Horseshoe Canyon Road. TV idol he may have been, but native Angelino Dolenz nonetheless exemplified the cool canyon lifestyle. When I was a kid growing up in the valley, the canyon was obviously very rustic, he says. I'd heard stories about how it was a hunting retreat and a place where people went camping at weekends, but when I moved in, there were already lots of actors and musicians and artists living up there. Dolenz's house became one of the key canyon hangouts of the late 60s. June Walters, who lived opposite, remembers endless actors and musicians swimming naked in Mickey's pool. Jack Nicholson, who wrote the satirical Monkees film Head, was a fixture. So were Head's director Bob Rafelson and Jack's pals Dennis Hopper and Harry Dean Stanton. After Dolenz married model Samantha Just, his new mother-in-law asked Jack and his cronies to show some consideration and wear swimming trunks, please. It was a tough adjustment for Samantha, Dolenz smiles. On one of her first days in the house, she went down into the basement to do some washing and stepped on one of my friends who was sleeping in the laundry. But that's very much how the canyon was. Yes. So, our next artist tonight had many happy returns to Folktown. It's always a great fun to see them and to hear them sing. They're coming to us today from Florida, the other warm place in the US. So please welcome back to the show the Rough and Tumble.
Hello! It's
Folktown?
us, the Rough and Tumble.
Scott Tyler,
back again
Mallory
for
Graham.
another amazing episode.
We are happy to be here on the Laurel Canyon.
That sounded
episode.
sarcastic, but it wasn't. We actually legitimately love Folktown.
Yeah.
And they are all amazing episodes, and we always meet somebody that we didn't know that we needed to know.
We are here in Florida. We couldn't take it. We were up in New Hampshire, and the snow kept coming and coming, and so.
But what if we weren't in Florida and we were in New Hampshire right now, but we just decided that we only wear tank tops in the snow now? Like, we've just really went for it.
Man.
We'd be different people.
We would.
We'd be hardened people.
Yeah.
And we're not hardened people. We play folk songs.
That's right. Except for today, we are playing a song.
Pop song.
A pop song by the Monkees.
We did. We chose the Monkees, which I felt like were maybe not the first group or writer that came to mind when I thought of Laurel Canyon by any stretch of the imagination. And truthfully, it was only because they were suggested that I was like, wait a second, they were Laurel
Monkees
Canyon.
were part of Laurel Canyon.
We had no idea. And I'm sure we could have, I don't know. Anyway, I love the Monkees. My mom loved the Monkees. Mickey was her favorite.
Everybody's mother loved the Monkees.
Yes. And that meant that I feel like this is like a growing theme. Like, people are just going to learn more and more about my childhood on every episode. So that's not a selling point. Yeah. I see that now.
And your mother's taste
and
in
my
music.
mother's taste in music. But I did listen to the Monkees a lot growing up and really, really enjoyed them. And I know some people maybe think they're a little, like, silly.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm a little silly.
I just think they're
maybe we're all a little silly.
I just think they're too busy singing to put anybody down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little louder. Tell me I can live without her. If I only listen to the band. Listen to the band. Weren't they good? They made me happy. I think I can make along. Oh, mercy, woman, play the song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little louder. Tell them they can live without. If they only listen to the band, listen to the band. Weren't they good? They made me happy. I think I can make it along. Oh, woman, play a song. And oh, I need help. I'm falling again. Play the drum a little bit louder. Tell us we can live without. Now that we have listened to the band, to listen to the band.
Thank you, Folktown.
I wanted to make sure everybody knew where the tambo
Oh,
was
I think
because
everybody,
it was a mystery tambo.
everybody
But there
knew.
was no mystery as to who's the best nose flautist.
We all know now, Mallory, who the best nose flautist is. That was fantastic. I didn't know there was such a thing as a nose flout. But you find out those things on Folktown, even if you're hosting the show and preparing it. I'm only finding out now. That's fantastic. I have to check out if Thomann has a nose flout. I'm sure they don't. Like, they don't even know that thing exists. All right. Thanks so much, Scott and Mallory. It's always a highlight to see and watch you guys and to hear about Mallory's mother's music tastes. Please keep it up. Keep it up and bring us more information about that. All right. I see Dave Coleman's joined the chat. Hello, Dave. Good to see you, man. And we're going to see Dave later, of course. Please don't, Claude. Or do. Whatever floats your boat. All right. We have one more Monkey song. It's a double package here, so to say. I'm very happy about this next performance. There are some sound issues, but I have to applaud Tom Lee Hoo and Keely BRINEMAN for singing this song for us from a rooftop in a hotel in Vietnam. And it's very windy up there. Tom Lee Hoo right now is on a little tour of Asia. I think he's in Japan right now. He was in Vietnam before, where he visited his friend Keely BRINEMAN. And I know Tom. He's been on the show a couple of times. I know him from a folk club here in Berlin. It's called the Artliners. And, you know, many of the folks that you know from the show, like Joe Armstrong and Mark Mulholland when he's in town, they're hanging out at the Artliners. And Tom Lee Hoo has a regular session there every Sunday. So if you're in Berlin on a Sunday, do check out the Artliners. If Tom is not on tour in Asia, then he's hosting the session there. And Keely BRINEMAN also used to live in Berlin. I think he's from the US originally. I don't really know where he's from. He's a mysterious person. And he played in many bands. The last big band I saw him in was the Calypso Cats, which was a Calypso band. But he was, you know, all kinds of bands. He's an extremely musical person. And so these two are singing us a Monkeys song. And please forgive the wind. And I think it's just great to see these guys playing a song for the show. Here's Tom Lee Hoo and Keely BRINEMAN.
All right, so from sunny Nanchang, Vietnam to Laurel Canyon, California, we'll play some music for Folktown. Are we ready? This is a song for the Monkeys.
Me and Magdalena, we're riding south from Monterey. As the sun slowly sinking into the distant ocean wave. And I don't know if I ever loved any other half as much as I do in this light she's under. Tell me, Magdalena, what do you see in the depth of light? See a long lost father as he hold you with his hand, like remember as a child. But now everything's lost will be recovered when we drift into the arms of the undiscovered. And I don't know if I ever loved any other half as much as I do in this light she's under. Me, Magdalena, always leaving early and sleeping late. Stand in the canyon, lost within their turn of fate. But no, everything's lost will be recovered when they drift to the arms of the undiscovered. And I don't know if I ever loved any other half as much as I do in this light she's under.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm sure it was perfect. Despite the wind, we just had to, you know, minus the wind from our ears. So thanks so much. That's a lovely song. I never heard it, but I'm also not super familiar with the Monkees catalog, except for the big hits, of course. But that was beautiful. I'd never have thought that that was a Monkees song. So thanks for educating me and maybe some others. Tom and Keeley, hope to catch up with you guys as soon as possible. All right. Yep, it was new to Elizabeth as well. All right. Cool. So before we go on, I would like to let you guys know, I let you guys in the last show know already, that as of late, there are t-shirts, Folktown t-shirts, and in several designs and in several colors, and they look like this, for example, and here on the sides of the t-shirts you have this different colors. So you know, if you would like to dress up for the final episode of Folktown of this season, the final episode, if you would like to have like the official apparel of the show, then I invite you to head over to the website where you find all information on Folktown, not only the t-shirts but also the t-shirts, and I'm putting that in the link in the chat right now. Okay, that's trailermusic.com/Folktown. Also, if you know someone who would like to participate in the show, if you yourself would like to participate in Folktown, on this website that I just put the link in the chat, you find all the information you need if you would like to be part of the show, if you would join us here. All right. Laura, you're very welcome to do that. You can just order the t-shirt and put in Bobby McLeod's address. So very, very welcome to do so. All right. Next up, we have Pat Carter. Pat was with us at least once, maybe twice. He's a musician here in Berlin, plays folk and country music in his band RODEO FM. They just had a new album out. It just came out, I think, like last week or this week or something. It's called Right Wing Planet, and I encourage you guys to check it out. Pat Carter and RODEO FM. And Pat is playing a song by Little Feat, who were also part of the scene in Laurel Canyon. And it's a song that is very well known for its harmonies. So, and I knew Pat was going to do this song by himself, so I asked him if he would mind if I join him on this song. So we met in my kitchen and we played a song by Little Feat, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Hi guys, we're gonna play Within by Little Feat. It's sort of a one-hit wonder, I think. I don't know any other number with Little Feat, but maybe it's just me.
I think it's definitely their most famous one.
Yeah.
I think it's like a band that's just appreciated for all their albums by the fans.
Okay.
Not so much single songs. But Linda Ronstadt did this thing and made it famous.
Oh yeah,
many
yeah,
other songs.
Yeah, that's right. It's a great number. I only really learned it this year, but I really like it. And the thing is, the guy who wrote it, he was in the Mothers of Invention. He was like in Frank Zappa's band.
Yeah.
And the number got turned down by Frank Zappa, and then he left and did his own thing.
I think Zappa even said, "Look, I'm throwing you out of the band. You got to do your own thing."
Yeah. Well, that's what he would say.
Yeah. So that's the Laurel Canyon connection there. They were all hanging out in Southern California.
They were.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Pat, for coming over to my kitchen.
Thanks for doing this together. It's, I mean, I really like singing harmony vocals. So.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Same here. All right, enjoy, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've been walked by the rain, driven by the snow, drunk and dirty, don't you know I'm still willing. Out on the road late at night, see my pretty Alice in every headlight. Oh, Alice, Alice, Alice. I've been from Tucson to Carry, the Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that has ever been made, driven the back road so I can get away. If you give me weed, words and wine, if you show me a sign, I'll be willing to keep moving. Kicked by the wind, driven by the sleet, got my head stove in, but I'm still kinda neat, and I'm still in a whole lot of trouble. Smuggled some smoke, some folks from Mexico, got baked by the sun each time I go to Mexico, and still I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, give me weed, whites and wine, if you show me a sign, I'll be willing. I've been from Tucson to Concarey, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that has ever been made, driven the back road so wouldn't get weighed. If you give me weed, whites and wine, if you show me a sign, I'll be willing.
Yeah, that was fun to sing. Thanks, guys. That's just a wonderful song. And another one that was made famous first by Linda Ronstadt. She wasn't a songwriter herself, but she did so much for these songs by her with her awesome voice. I love Linda Ronstadt. I would love to, play a Linda Ronstadt song, and she didn't really write much. So, but anyway, she's in this show through these songs, and the stories vary. If Frank Zappa kicked out Lowell George and said, no, you're not good enough, or he said, I'm kicking you out because you're too good. You do your own thing. I kind of like this story. So this is how this show incorporates Frank Zappa as well. And here's a little spoiler. We're not having a Frank Zappa song on the show. No one took that challenge. But, he's in the show through this little story. All right. Cool. So next up, we have a song by Graham Parsons. And I'm not a big expert on Graham Parsons. I know some of his songs. But as far as I understand, he's the one who kind of injected a country music into Laurel Canyon. And Graham Parsons played today by Rodeo Queen, a lovely duo from the US originally, but they live in the Czech Republic. Laura Camp and her friend, whose name escapes me right now, which is disastrous, and I will try to remember it for the next time. But I do remember the name of the band. It's Rodeo FM. Not Rodeo. Rodeo FM is the name of Pat Carter's band. These girls are called Rodeo Queen, of course. Jesus, man, get your thing together. Here's Rodeo Queen singing you a Graham Parsons song.
Hello, Folktowners.
Hello, everybody.
We're Rodeo Queen.
I'm Laura.
I'm Hadley.
And this is Georgia, my cat from Georgia.
AKA Fluffy Butt.
We're going to do a Graham Parsons song. We absolutely love playing this song live.
Definitely. We hope you enjoy it. It's called Still Feeling Blue.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Time can pass and time can heal, but it don't ever pass the way I feel. You went away a long time ago, and why you left I never knew. Lonely days and lonely nights, yes, the world knows I ain't feeling right. And when you're gone, the hours pass so slow, and now I'm still feeling blue. Baby, since you walked out of my life, I never felt so low. Can't help but wonder why you had to go. one treats me like you used to do. Well, I hope you're out and happy now, doing up the town, 'cause you know how. Every time I hear your name, I wanna die. And now I'm still feeling blue. All right. And baby, since you walked out of my life, I never felt so low. Can't help but wonder why you had to go. Had many girls that I can't say they come and go, and still I feel this way. And ever since the day you said goodbye, no one treats me like you used to do. I hope you're out and happy now, doing up the town, 'cause you know how. Every time I hear your name, I wanna die. And now I'm still feeling blue. Well, now I'm still feeling blue.
Oh man, this is always such a treat to see. Hadley and Laura, thanks so much, Rodeo Queen, Graham Parsons. I need to brush up on my Graham Parsons and Flying Burrito Brothers. I definitely don't know enough, and I will do so. All right, Laura, my favorite banjo player in the world, I think. All right, cool. We're moving on. We have the second Jackson Browne song coming up, and it's played by none other than Jason McNiff in Hastings, England, and I think he's having a gig tonight, a local gig at the Jenny Lind, because it's Friday. I think this is always when these gigs happen, and so Jason is not in the chat tonight, but we're still welcoming him, of course. Here's Jason McNiff, everyone. The masterful guitar picker from England, Hastings.
Hello, Folktown. Great pleasure to be doing the Laurel Canyon episode. What a beautiful scene that was. Some great people, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Joni Mitchell, the Monkees, and this guy, Jackson Browne. This is Our Lady of the Well. It is a dance we do in silence, far beyond the morning sun. You and your life, me and mine, we have begun. Here we're standing without speaking, draw the water from the well. It gives me on the pines to where the mountain lies so still. It's a long way that I have come. I always had to find peace among your people in the sun, where the families work the land as they have always done. It's so far the other way my country's come. Across my home has grown a shadow of a cruel and senseless hand, and some strong hearts the love and truth remain. It has taken me this distance and a woman's love to learn that my home it lies among them, and to them I will return. It's a long way I have come across the sand to find this peace among your people in the sun, where your children will be born. You'll watch them as they run. Oh, it's so far the other way. My life is gone. will see you in the shade, half asleep or in a dream, it's hard to tell. Hey, look for me, Maria, I will show you what I've made. It's a picture of a lady of the well. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Jason. That was amazing. I think that was one of my favorite performances of yours on the show here. Jackson Browne, Our Lady of the Well. I think a couple of people remarked they never heard Jason play a Jackson Browne song. I remember on his live stream he once played one. It's the only time, but I don't remember which one it was. So he doesn't play Jackson Browne often. But anyone who would like to hear more of Jason McNiff, even if you're not in Hastings in England, you can catch him every Thursday at 8:30 British time on his Facebook site, where he has his regular live stream. And it's always very much recommendable. Lots of Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Bert Jensch, you know, those kind of folks. And his own songs, of course, which are brilliant. All right, cool. Next up, we have actually the guy who I met Jason through at a bookshop that used to exist in Berlin called the East of Eden. Mark Mulholland, when he was still living in Berlin, he hung out there all the time. And once he brought Jason on stage, and I think I don't know how they met, somewhere in England. They went on tour together, and then he brought him over to Berlin, and this is how I saw Jason for the first time. So here's Mark Mulholland, who's Folktown regular. He's from Scotland, but now he lives in France again. And I think he's about to move, or already moved, to some other foreign place. Such a stupid thing to say. Exotic place, maybe. Something that's very, very far away from Berlin, where I am right now. And Mark Mulholland's been living all over the world in many places. And I'm not exactly sure where he is right now. So Mark, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, please let us know where exactly you are at the moment. He's a brilliant songwriter. He just released an album called Revolutions Go in Circles, which is lovely. And also this one, I recommend you check it out. Like with all the artists here, you find the links to their music, all the names alphabetically, and under the names there's links to their music in the post description. So wherever that is, where you're watching, it's usually above the chat. So you're in the chat right now, typing away, and above the chat you find all the artists. Please do check them out. Write them a note, tell them you like their song, performance, buy a CD, buy a download, and if you have to stream on Spotify, do save the song, do add it to your playlist, and then still, you know, buy a t-shirt or something. Send a donation, something that really makes an impact, because Spotify streams do not. All right, cool. So without further ado, here's Mark Mulholland with a bird song.
The songs of Laurel Canyon from the 1960s and 70s is an extremely wide selection to choose from, because there was so much amazing music came from that place at that time. A fantastic collection of artists and songwriters that congregated in the one place. The song that I've chosen today is one that I've been singing for many years. It's accompanied me on travels all around the world, which is kind of the theme of the song. It's a song by the Byrds, which the story goes that it was co-written by Bob Dylan, but he didn't want to be credited for it because it was for the soundtrack for the film Easy Rider, and he didn't like the film. So the song's called The Ballad of Easy Rider, and it's by the Byrds.
The river flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to sun. Other town. All they wanted was to be free. That's the way that it turned out to be. Go river, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to sun. Other town. Go river, go past the shady tree. Go river, go down to the sea. To the sea. The river flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to sun. Other town.
That's a beautiful song. I didn't know it. I saw the movie, but I don't remember the song. It's really great. Thanks, Mark, for introducing me to that. Maybe a couple other people as well. Mark Mulholland, everyone, part of what used to be Berlin's greatest folk band, $2 Bash. And these guys reunite every now and then, but I haven't seen them in years. All right. And next up we have Mark's bandmate in that band. He's been on the show today already in the Jolie Blondes. It's Joe Armstrong, and Joe is playing us a song. I have to check my notes here. No, it's gone. Jesus, I don't remember, because my notes are all over the place. I'm very sorry about that, Joe, but he's going to tell us himself anyway. Here's Joe Armstrong, everyone.
Hi everyone, it's always great to be here on Folktown, and it's great to be doing this Laurel Canyon episode. I picked this song because it's a beautiful song, and also because it's got a little Laurel Canyon anecdote to go with it. Neil Young in 1967, he'd left the Buffalo Springfield, and he was hitchhiking through Laurel Canyon. I think his motorbike had broken down, and he got picked up by Jack Nietzsche, a very well-known record producer, and the pair of them were hanging out, and it turns out, of course, that they were big fans of each other's work. And Jack Nietzsche ended up producing a song of Neil's called Expecting to Fly, and orchestrating it, and Neil took it back to the Buffalo Springfield, and they put it on the Buffalo Springfield's second album. But it was this hitchhiking through Laurel Canyon that brought them together, and it started a lifelong association, maybe not always friendship, but an association between the two of them. So this is Expecting to Fly.
Then you stood on the edge of your feather, expecting to fly. As I laughed, I wondered whether I could wave goodbye, knowing that you'd gone. By the summer we were healing, we had said goodbye. All the years we spent with feeling ended with a cry. Pain ended with a cry. Pain ended with a cry. I tried so hard to stand as I stumbled